Welcome to Lifting Leaders Podcast, where we are unleashing leader possibilities to make a better world. I'm Crystal Roberts, and together with Trisha Ryan, we're diving deeper into some of the complexities of the world's most critical challenges and exploring innovative ways of navigating through them.
Through interviews with experts and leaders just like you, we're exploring what it takes to thrive as a leader today and examining new ways of thinking about how to creatively lead into a more equitable, socially responsible, and sustainable future. And the future starts now.
Hi, Trisha. How are you doing today?
Hi, Chris. I'm doing great. How about you? Oh my gosh. I was losing it before we even got on the air. Oh, man.
It's summer. It's summer.
It is summer, and we're getting close. We are close.
What are we close to?
We are close to having our summer break. A couple weeks from now.
I think we're getting almost a little giddy.
I kind of am. You saw that I totally lost it before we started doing this.
How many episodes have we done? We'll have that for our next episode. We're going to do a little bit of a wrap of season 4.
Yes.
Golly. But today, in preparation for that session, we always love to talk a little bit about sustainability and what we can do personally. And hopefully this will be a little bit of an inspiration as we think about what we're doing this summer.
Right.
And how do we weave in some things to make a better world?
You know, we've done that every year so far, and it's so important, to have some purpose, while we're off.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I will probably do something while we're off, but at the same together. But there's all this other stuff that's going on, and there are ways that we can make our time here more purposeful and be better to the earth a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So we pulled an article, of course, when wouldn't we, right? on reducing lifestyle waste. And it is about things that you could do that do not tax the earth that much, and they're simple in many ways. It's like, wow, I didn't even think about that, but I could do it, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to take a look at some of these things and make some commitments for ourselves over the summer, and we're going to share that with you, and we'll update you when we come back in season 5. We still have one more episode, so we're not done yet. But also, I wanted to just make one comment as we dive into this, that we are not here to shame anyone. We are not here to make anyone feel guilty. We recognize that to really solve these really complex and critical issues that we have around sustainability, it's at the system level. So we need companies on board. We need to change large systems, both in our own country, in our community, but in the world, to really make a difference. But we each can make a small shift. And when we have lots of people making small shifts, that does make an impact.
It's grassroots, right?
Yeah.
It starts with every small move we make. And so the first thing that I saw in this article was that we should consider buying used or imperfect. And, I was talking to a friend of mine just recently about produce.
Yeah.
And he said, he goes to a fruit stand that is near his home, and he looks for the stuff that is blemished, because people always go through and look for the perfect.
Yeah.
And he said the blemished is just as good, and it doesn't cost a fortune, right? And he said then they don't have to discard it.
Yeah.
And while a lot of times it'll go back into the soil and they'll, or animals will eat it, sometimes it goes into the garbage, and then that becomes methane gas and stuff when you sit at a landfill. So I just thought that was such a great idea. And buying used or getting things that have already been used, but like go to a thrift store, right?
Yeah.
Years ago, I wanted to have hors d'oeuvres every Sunday when we were watching football.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I thought, well, I want something to put that on. I want it to be cool. So I went to a Goodwill store, and in the dish section they had, pressed glass that looks like crystal, little dishes that were good for pickles and, and different pickled
Yeah.
items and stuff. And I thought, that's cool. And I would make a big tray with all these different dishes on it. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've gone to Goodwill for dishes for things like that as well. Sometimes like when you're looking for something to give away at a party, like little almost party favors.
Yeah.
We've done like you can find fancy teacups and you just, fill them with chocolates or whatever, but
Yeah.
not going out and buying something new, trying to actually see what can we find out there that somebody has discarded, they don't want themselves, and we can pass it along.
That is such an awesome idea. I love the whole teacup thing because when you think about it, everybody used to have china, right?
Yeah.
And not everybody is into that anymore. And
Yeah.
a lot of those old teacups, I remember my grandmother used to collect teacups and saucers that were
Yeah.
like eggshell bisque, so that
Yeah.
you put them up to the light, you could see through them.
Yeah.
And when she passed away, she left them for my sister and I. And I still have them, but I never know what to do with them. But now I have an idea. That's a great idea. You could put a little plant in it too, I guess.
You could put a little plant. There's all kinds of cool things you could do with that. I think the other thing that this brought up for me, so it's not necessarily imperfect, but of course this is summer and the farmers markets are amazing.
Oh, yes.
And so how can we support our local farmers and our local artists? Buying things there for your home helps support local families and local jobs.
And, to your point about artists, when you go to the farmer's market, at least the one that we go to that's near us, there are often a lot of crafts. And when you look at those crafts, they're usually a product of something that was something else before.
Yes.
Jewelry that has buttons in it or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that you can see how creative they were, that they took something that was fairly ordinary and turned it into something kind of special.
Yeah. Kind of that found art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another way to think about sustainability is to borrow, rent, or share. So if we're thinking about tools or even like we're throwing a bridal shower for Maddie. So I'm thinking about, we need extra furniture, chairs and things like that. So when we do that, how can we tap into our friends or neighbors to help us bring some of those things rather than buy them for one time?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And the other thing is, of course, books. And I do that pretty regularly where I'm sharing books with people. But
Well, we have a great used bookstore down in town, and they've got a lot of times those older or used bookstores will take your books and then they'll sell them for almost nothing.
Yeah.
And you get to choose other books. And often it doesn't cost you really anything. So it becomes sort of an exchange of books, which is kind of cool. And they have millions of them there.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
And those little tiny libraries are showing up everywhere, which I think are a really cool idea too.
I think they're an amazing idea.
Yeah.
We have a friend who actually started that trend at the airport.
Yeah.
At our airport. And they're doing great guns. Every time I go by there are many books in those things. So
That's cool.
Another one is repair, refurbish, or repurpose items. And that's sort of the craft thing that I was talking about, taking other items that have been used before and then using them in a different way. And I've seen people make lamps out of pictures or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just amazing what you can do. So tapping into your creativity by using something that's really old and different. And, I have a friend who she used a shower curtain and made it into an outdoor tablecloth, but she added she used a little bit of, what is it called? Elastic, or something around the corner so that it hugged the edge of the table. It's great. And it's waterproof and she can wipe it off and it looks great.
That's such a great idea. Wow. Making sure that we're not just throwing things in the garbage and making sure that we're donating them where other people, when it's a usable item that other people can use. I just love, and I know we've talked about this before, but I love the company Ridwell. And they come up with some incredible things that you can recycle.
Yes.
And the community gets to benefit from it. Different groups in the community refurbish them, or they make them into something different. And everything from old jewelry to those bread tie things. You know?
Yes,
So it's like
absolutely.
essentially their goal is zero waste.
Yeah.
Zero. So not throwing nothing away. Love that.
Wine corks. They
Yes.
take wine corks. They take little, like you said, the bread tabs. They'll take all sorts of things that your old jewelry that is broken or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll take that and they take all the goodies off of the jewelry and make it into something else. I love the idea of taking jeans, old worn jeans, and making it into grocery bags.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty cool.
So many cool things.
Another one is skipping the extra packaging. And we really don't need to always have, so many plastic bags and things, although I do. I still have them, but I'm reusing them. And if I have a plastic bag that is one of those that's not recyclable or not biodegradable, I often use it as a liner for a trash bag.
Yeah.
And I just keep using it over and over again. I just keep dumping it out until it's no good anymore, because it is going to get used, but it's also going to eventually be thrown away.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to prolong that a little bit, keep it from going in the landfill.
Well, you can give it to me, and I'll give it to Ridwell.
Okay,
And
that's a good idea.
and
That's
they
actually a good
recycle
idea.
them.
Well, and I also think that it's, we have a lot of bulk packaging, boxes and things that are in boxes,
Yeah.
or in a plastic something inside a box.
Yeah.
And do we really need it? I noticed that Amazon now has a thing where if you're trying to reduce the amount of packaging that you have, you can actually arrange, if you have multiple items that you've ordered, you can arrange to have everything sent the same day, and they'll put it in one container.
Yeah.
And that to me makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Paperless, I think we've been trying to do that for a long time, but if you've got anything still hanging out there that's coming to you,
In
sent to you.
1987, my boss was trying to go paperless. In 1987,
Yeah.
never happened.
Yeah. But we've made progress, and we just have to keep after it.
Yeah.
They were talking about here that if you go to the Federal Trade Commission, you can stop some of the unsolicited mail.
Yes.
And so that would be worth checking out.
And actually, you can talk to your mail person, your letter carrier. And letter carrier, do they even have those? But anyway, you can talk to them. They actually have a form. You can go on USPS, and they have a form. And there are actually a couple of other agencies that offer some kind of a form where you can do that. Another one is, if you don't want to keep getting something, like say you set up something for auto pay and you're paying out and you're no longer using it, instead of losing all that money, you can go to Rocket Money or some of these other, Experian, I think, has it too, and sign up, and they will go through and find where all of your money is going to in auto pay, and you can decide what you want to keep paying for and what you don't.
Yeah.
And that is another way of saving.
Yeah, right, for sure. It's resources. Mm-hmm. One of the things to reduce the plastic waste that I really enjoy is they are, for their produce, we have these little cotton bags that we use, and those are reusable. You can also just throw them in the washer when they're dirty, and it saves a ton of the plastic bags.
They're great to go to the farmer's market with. I love those things. And they also can double as a lingerie bag in the wash.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see, heating and cooling. Here's another one for us. I know that where I grew up in the military, and we lived in all different kinds of climates, but one of the things we always heard from whatever landlord is, if it's snowing, keep your curtains closed. And if it's really hot and you have blinds, keep your blinds tilted so that the sun is deflected, not coming in the house, because our windows are not at a point where air is not going to come through around the edges of it, right?
Yeah.
So in the winter, if you keep your curtains closed, you're keeping your heat in. And in the summer, if you keep the blinds at a deflecting angle, you're not letting the sun in to heat up your house. And that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I know that in our area, our electric company offers a program where they'll tell you, they call it a flex program, where they'll tell you when they would like you to use as little energy as possible so it doesn't draw from the grid. And it's keeping everybody's rates at a better rate so that you might get a little kick. They might give you $5 or something, for it. And that's nothing. It's just the idea that you're off the grid. You're not using any more energy than you have to. And it doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, I love this little tip that they gave us about the fan. It says if you have ceiling fans, pay attention to which way they spin. When this fan spins counterclockwise, it creates a wind chill effect so that you feel cooler. And if you reverse your fan to a clockwise direction, it creates a gentle updraft, recirculating heat throughout your home.
So it has dual purpose.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So check that out. Every ceiling fan, I know, does have that ability to go both directions. Yeah.
There's a whole area on water usage and water heating. And this is something that I do practice religiously, and that is when I'm washing my face or brushing my teeth, I turn the water off while I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I get the washcloth or whatever cloth I'm using wet with hot water or warm water, and then I turn the water off and wash it, and then I just rinse it out. But it takes a lot less water. And I take showers. I don't take baths because showers don't use as much water, and neither do dishwashers.
I know. Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yes.
Yeah. It's actually better to fill up your dishwasher than to do the individual hand washing of the smaller items. So I was like, that's interesting. Yeah.
And here I thought I was being so energy efficient for so long by hand washing my stuff.
I know.
Right? It's like,
the more you know, right? Lighting, of course, we've been aware of that for a long time. Changing out our light bulbs to more efficient light bulbs.
Appliances. This one is a draw. It is a real draw because we keep our stuff. I keep my stuff plugged in, right? Mm-hmm. And even when it's turned off, it is using some juice. I didn't realize that until I started doing that flex program. And they said, if you have a coffee maker, unplug your coffee maker, unplug everything, right? And it's like, wow, I had no idea. But also make sure that when you do your wash, when you're doing a load of dishes, that it's a load. Go ahead and fill it up because you're getting more for your money, basically. You're using the same amount of water, but it's cleaning more and it's more efficient. Same thing with freezers. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was interesting.
Fill your freezer.
Yeah. Make sure that you're cleaning your refrigerator coils once or twice a year.
Yeah, that one's.
I'm not sure I've ever done that.
I don't know if I've ever even had my
I don't even know where
refrigerator
they're
against the wall.
I'd have to Google that one. Where is a refrigerator coil?
What does it look like?
How to clean it?
Man.
But you do. He said, be sure and turn off
I know.
the appliance before you do that. The refrigerator. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would be so likely to just turn on the vacuum cleaner with the hose in hand and not turn anything off and just hope for the best.
Electrocute yourself. Yeah. Let's see. Transportation. Yeah. These are some of these basics that really important to remind ourselves. Keep your tires properly inflated. Mm-hmm. Replace your air filter regularly. Drive at a steady, constant speed. So, yeah, these are interesting, important things that we just don't think about most of the time. Of course, carpooling, ride sharing. Can you take public transportation in a reasonable amount of time and transfers? And is there a way to maybe if it's just heading to the store, right? Could you bike or walk?
That is actually a really good point. I know there are some people during the pandemic. I remember people were having their groceries brought to them, right? But I know a lot of folks are now going to the store, picking it up at the curb. It's being shopped by someone else, and they put it in a bin, and you just pick up your bin. And while that's not saving you any gas, it's still getting you to and from the store. But while you're there, your car's not sitting in the hot sun getting hotter, that you have to turn on the air conditioner and, emit all sorts of other things when you get back.
Yeah, that's true. So I think
Oh.
part of what, as we think about making sustainable practices sustainable, is to try and find some ways to have some fun with it.
Yes.
Yeah. So even when you think about the refurbishing in something, maybe an old bookshelf or something like that, how can you get creative with it, and how can it maybe be a little bit of an outlet for you when you're doing that? How can you maybe think about it as a way to meditate or something like that? So getting creative and having a little fun.
And that segues right into the next one, which is to uncover new skills and hobbies.
Yeah.
Because, you may find that you really enjoy gardening. And I know that this year I've done more of it than I've done in a long time because, we're really focusing on bees and birds and butterflies. But at the same time, it does feel really good to get out there and, if there's something that shouldn't be growing in my garden, I pull it. And if there's something that I want in my garden to look different, I cut it, and I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
But it's also keeping me out of my car.
Yeah.
Right? I'm at home. I'm not using anything electric. I'm just me, my shears, my gloves, and my weeder.
Yeah. Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking for sustainable treasures into a bit of a treasure hunt. So when you are purchasing things, is it something that I was thinking about our jackets that we bought when we were featured at the Hudson conference. And those were made, had a big percentage of the jacket was made from plastic water bottles. So there's all kinds of ways to find out and to look for products that have some sort of sustainability built into them.
And they're very comfortable jackets, by the way. Oh, let's see. Challenge yourself. Look for different things that you can do, something that you've never done before that you might want to try. That, maybe it's your first time, and that's where you might discover that you really like doing something different. It's having a growth mindset and knowing that maybe you're not going to be great at the very beginning, but heck, do it again and see what happens, right? When I learned kayaking, I was trying not to keep doing things that kind of drew on electricity or gas in my car or anything.
Yeah.
And so I started kayaking, and I loved it. I really loved it. But I was terrible in the beginning. You would think kayaking's pretty simple, but I wasn't born a kayaker. And I had to learn how to keep my balance with the kayak, and when paddling wasn't a good idea, and how to turn the kayak when there's a boat going by, and those kinds of things. And, I didn't even think about it when I was out there the first time. And so, a few rollovers, But now I haven't done it in a while, but I do love kayaking. It's a lot more fun, and it doesn't take any energy except your own personal energy to do. Right?
Yeah. I was thinking about Chance when he was staying with us, that he was using the coffee grounds in our garden. He was putting it in our garden and making the soil better. And I can see a difference this year in our garden. It's producing a lot more. So that was kind of cool. And that's something that not that was difficult, but it's not something I really thought about.
Today's grounds are going in a pot until I can get enough to throw out in the garden. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Making it social. I thought that was kind of fun. So where can you make a little bit of a game out of it? So maybe challenging your coworkers to a plastic-free month, or
this one's good.
You liked the cold shower Saturdays with your gym buddies.
I didn't think so.
No cold showers.
Or air drying your clothes. Wow.
Yeah.
Don't put them in the dryer. Do what my grandma used to do, which is put it out on a clothesline, right? Or something, and let it hang in the fresh air. And I've heard, I don't remember ever having smelled something as it came in, but I heard that when you line dry your clothes, they have a different sweetness to them.
Yeah. Yeah. I really love this last one. Host a clothing swap where
Yeah.
everyone brings an item they no longer wear and everyone goes home with something new. And you can do that with all kinds of things. Like it's pretty common to see the book. We talked about the libraries, but
Yeah.
even like at a party that you're having, have people bring a book that they can share with, a book exchange. Those are kind of fun. So part of what that does is also build your community. And we know that it's through community that we can solve some of these really challenging issues.
Well, and one of the perks to it, or one of the benefits, is that, you're doing these things in your community. You are working on ways to, make a better world, because anything you do incrementally is good for our earth, and you're saving money.
Yeah.
In many cases, you're saving money. You're not going out and buying new clothes. You're not going out and buying new shoes all the time. You're not going out and purchasing things with really expensive packaging necessarily. It's just, what are you comfortable with? And that's where it starts. What would you be comfortable with? If you're not comfortable with a lot of this stuff, but maybe one thing kind of suits you, then try it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's building the muscle around
Right.
it. Yeah. Of getting comfortable. Yeah. And then being a sustainable traveler, especially, I think that makes a lot of sense as we're thinking about people going on summer trips, right? This starting with getting there, thinking about, can you take a ride share versus paying for parking? Bring reusable cups instead of relying on single-use items. One thing that my daughter Madison, that she does, and I'm starting to do it now, I'm following her, is she takes her water bottle everywhere and even into restaurants and just drinks her water from the water bottle. And I thought, that's cool. That is a sustainable practice, so that you're not using any sort of single-use
That's
cups.
great.
You're
Yeah.
even saving, the power and the energy to clean that cup, right? So,
It's a great idea.
yeah. So I'm starting to do that too.
Yeah, so there are so many things that we can try, right? Oh, there is one that I really wanted to pick out, and that is, do you love souvenirs, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to always buy us like little trinkets and things from wherever we were, and they're great, except I have nothing today because they weren't something that I would have kept for my whole life. They weren't something that I necessarily needed or wanted. I loved it, right?
Yeah.
But I don't cherish them. So the point is, when you do buy something on a trip because you want to have that moment of remembering, or it's something that you thought was amazing, think about that before you purchase it, and do get that thing that's amazing, because that's what you would cherish.
Yeah.
Buy what you will think about years from now and look at it, and it'll remind you of that trip. It'll remind you of the moment you bought it or whatever. But try to stay away from buying the little plastic items or things that probably won't last if you move more than once, right?
Yeah. I like to find something that's functional.
Yes.
So maybe it's a serving bowl, or I was kind of into for a little while these little, as you were talking about, like dishes, but they're like putting your rings in and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So we were actually getting them from secondhand stores. I thought that, so we weren't purchasing anything new.
Yeah.
It was a reusing, but I would remember that. It's like, oh yeah, we got that in this place. Or doesn't have to be expensive, but a piece of art or something where a small piece of art that you can put on the wall or something like that, that's more from a sort of like functional perspective.
I think I remember you giving your team members soap one time. You came back in a candy bar from the country that you were in, and that was wonderful. And the soap I thought was lovely, because that's the soap that came from that area. You also gave us, I think, seeds one time from, I don't know if it was Ireland or somewhere. You gave us a little seed packet, and I thought that was cool. I never would have thought of that, but what an awesome idea, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, Trisha, thinking about this summertime and this break that we'll be taking in a couple of weeks, what's one thing this summer that you might want to experiment with?
I think this summer I am going to, got to run through the list here real quick. I think I'm going to try and repurpose some things or refurbish some things. I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to buy old furniture and then she'd refurbish it, and it turned out beautifully. And I have an antique table that I really don't love anymore, but I think I could if I just made a few little fixes on it. And so I think I'm going to refinish it this summer. And I'm also going to try my hand at, I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, but I'm going to try my hand at hanging out some wash to dry outside. Save my dryer for a little while. Might be kind of fun.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. For these few months that we do have nice weather here,
Yeah.
I think that would be fun to do that, to hang out some laundry.
There's so much, you know.
I know. I'll report back. I'm gonna clean my refrigerator coils. I promise to unplug it and turn it off. But that one
I
has
probably
me
should do it.
intrigued. I'm like, I wonder where they are and what they look like. So I'm gonna try that.
I'm definitely donating some clothes. I'm
Yes.
donating a lot of things. And I've got a closet here in our podcast room that is full of books and things that I have not looked at in years. And I think they're going to go someplace where they can be looked at.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I think the other thing that I want to do is we have family camp coming up.
Yes.
And we always come up with something that's a giveaway. And so I'm going to challenge myself to come up with something that we either refurbish or we get from like Goodwill, but maybe somehow make it our own, paint it or something. So
That's a great idea.
rather than buying something to give to people, we'll do something like that.
Yeah, I think I'll keep this list out
Yeah.
and just keep referring to it because I have a feeling nothing in here was so taxing. You know, it seems like it's all pretty easy. So I think I'm going to try my hand at a couple of things and,
Yeah.
you know, and keep trying to keep my mind open and learning as
Yeah.
I go.
Yeah. I think maybe the other thing that was intriguing, and I'd have to really think about who I would do this with, but is the party aspect of bringing something to share
Yeah.
and then taking it home, whether it is a book or they were talking about clothes, but that would be kind of fun to do that.
Jewelry, maybe, even,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
costume jewelry.
Yeah,
Right?
but that would be fun. Yeah. So lots of good things. We'll report back
Yeah.
in September.
Yeah. So are we going to keep that conversation going today or not? I think we need to.
I think we need to keep the conversation going. And I would love to hear from our listeners. What are they going to do? Maybe they're inspired by our list that we just discussed. Or they've probably got some other ideas. What we formally call it the summer challenge. What are you going to challenge yourself to do and help? You know, we'll post it on Instagram and Facebook, but let us know what are you doing, and we'll put it out there so that other people can be inspired by what you're doing as well.
We may actually put out a reel this time. You never know.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe a trip to the thrift store might be a fun reel.
Yeah. Or the farmer's market.
Or the farmer's market, yeah.
Yeah. So let's keep the conversation going. If you have questions or comments about the show, you can find us on all our social media channels at lifting_leaders. We have so many exceptional podcast episodes coming up with more fantastic guests. So be sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen. If you know someone who would find this episode inspiring or informative, share it with them, text them, email them, or take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram and tag us at lifting_leaders. If you'd like to know more about us, our guests, or the show, please go to our website at liftingleaderspodcast.com. You'll find our show notes there as well. If you're looking for help in developing your leaders or would like a growth opportunity yourself through leader coaching, please contact us through our website at www.liftingleaderspodcast.com. Thank you to Ari Chance Roberts for his technical support of our show. Finally, please take 30 seconds and follow us. It helps you because you never miss an episode, and it helps us.
Because you never miss an episode?
Yes. To follow us, go to the Lifting Leaders Podcast Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Then just tap the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner or click on follow. While you're there, if you'd be willing to give us a 5-star rating and review and share the episode with a friend, we'd be so grateful. Thank you, Trisha, for another fun episode.
Thanks, Crystal. It was fun.
And many thanks to you, our listeners. We appreciate you. Find ways every day to lift each other up. Have a fantastic week. Bye.